Why do we want to change to rotational grazing? First and foremost, it's for the health of the pasture. So by rotating the flock around the property, we'll be able to provide rest periods to each part of ground for as long as we can. We would like to go towards the 60-day rest. I don't know that we're going to be able to do it on this small of an acreage. We have about 2 acres of grazable pasture here that we're working with. And as you can see by the state of where we're starting from this year, it's pretty low, and we really need to work on the health of the grass for the animals. Rotational grazing mimics nature and how animals would behave in the wild. In the wild, animals are not contained by fencing. They move from place to place on a daily or sometimes multiple times a day basis. They're moved by predators, and when we confine the animals like this in a farm setting, obviously they can't do that. My neighbors around me would not appreciate having my sheep on their property. So because of that, we have to try to mimic nature and move them around as best we can so that all the ecosystems can be taken care of. The gate is closed and this field is now officially resting. These periods of rest and disturbance will cause the plants, the grasses, even the weeds, to regenerate. So they'll be trimmed down and grow back, similar to what happens when you mow the lawn. You mow it and then it grows back. So during the high growth part of the year, here in the spring, it really starts to hit. In about March, everyone complains that they've got to start mowing the grass. That's when we want to really make sure that the pastures have the most chance to get that spring growth going and have a rest period during that time. In March, we will be lambing, so the sheep will be up there by the lambing barn. So that gives us a good chance to rest a lot of the fields during the time when they're up there, they're up in the behind the barn, in front of the barn. They have a spot in the front yard where we run them with the poly tape, and then they have a spot in the backyard that they can access. So that is where we will let them graze while they have their lambs. And then once all the lambs are born, we plan to start rotating through the rest of the pastures on the property, provided that the grass looks like it can handle it. This is the paddock attached to the lambing barn. The grass has gotten longer out here. They haven't been in this area for several months. Ungrazed, grazed. Hi guys, I noticed the microphone cut out on this clip, so I'm going to record a little bit of narrative here to go with it. So what we're seeing here is behind the lambing barn, and the grass out here is pretty short. There's a lot of patches where there's a lot of weeds and thatch, but over time, as the sheep graze down the weeds should become less, and as our management of these areas improve, hopefully the grass will fill in. That's what we're hoping for. Another benefit of rotational grazing is parasite management. When the grass is really short, similar to how our pastures are now, but the weather is a little warmer and the wet conditions we have really makes us prone to parasites. They're ideal conditions for it. Now, the St. Croix sheep are naturally parasite resistant, but that does not mean they cannot get infected with parasites. So by managing the pastures through rotational grazing, we can help keep the parasite load down by not creating conditions that are ideal for the parasites to survive. And also, by growing more grass and treating less parasites with medication, we're saving money. We're relatively new to this livestock raising, as this is only our 4th year having sheep on this property. I'm hoping that some of you might have some suggestions for me on what you would do to this pasture. Have somebody come in and plow it all under and plant new grass? Use a different animal to do some of that work and replant? Keep on doing what we're doing? Any suggestions that you have for improving pasture on a small farm, I welcome it. Please post a comment below and let me know your thoughts on that. I appreciate the help. Thanks for coming along today while I assessed the beginning conditions of our pasture this wintertime in January. I look forward to seeing these lands grow a lot of healthy, lush plants for the sheep to graze on for as long as we can get it into the year. The less time we have to feed hay, the better, and that's what we're after here. We want to improve the pastures and ultimately improve the health of the animals and, of course, ourselves. So again, thank you for joining me. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to be notified when I post future videos, please subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you. Have a wonderful day.